Barbeck is a proud sponsor of local H&R Preps.
Kelly, I just got a new cell phone. It's awesome. And I just shot a video of Nick at the game tonight. Oh my God, he is so cute. I'll send it to you right now.
We help you stay connected with a cute picture here and there. Buy local. Buy Barbeck.
Hello, welcome to this week's Preps Preview alongside Justin Conn. I'm Leroy Bridges. We're just going to get right started with our top five. It's been a little bit, but pick us up. What do you got going on?
And of course, mine's changed a lot.
That's good to hear.
You know how I am with that.
Yeah.
At number 5 this week, I have Meridian. You know, they've won 8 in a row. They're playing better defense now, which is the main reason I've allowed them to get into the top 5 here.
And that was a big key early on. Coach Blick wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, that had been bad. I dropped NOKOMIS to number 4. Had a couple of losses. They had 1 loss going into the Litchfield tournament. They come out with 3, you know, with 2 more losses. So now they have 3 for the season. I don't want to drop them out, but I think they deserved a little bit of a drop there for that. Number 3, I have Effingham St. Anthony. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Bulldogs later, but you know, they're playing as good as anyone right now. Number 2, I have WINDSOR, and number 1, TEUTOPOLIS. That's kind of been my 1 and 2 for a while now. I know maybe NOKOMIS got in there for a while, but I think right now those are the 2 teams that, if you look at the body of work for the season, have been the best 2 teams in the area.
Yeah, and those are 2 pretty good. I know that I think overall talent in the area might be down this year, but those are 2 pretty good teams right now to represent those top 2. Looking at my top 5, Meridian also sneaks into mine at number 5. Like you said, the Hawks are just playing really well right now, and definitely the team to beat in the O-Call. Yeah. And you know, when they do play defense, they've got enough scoring options on the perimeter and down low that they're tough to beat. Number 4, jumping on that Effingham St. Anthony bandwagon finally, got them cracking my top 5. I think for the first time all season. Yeah. So yeah, I'm starting to buy into the Bulldogs, starting to learn a little bit more about them down there in the NTC. Number 3, Lincoln. They've been kind of Jekyll and Hyde all year.
They have been.
And I know they've got a couple tests coming up. I believe they play Southeast again coming up here soon. And you know, they just find a way to win, even though they've been inconsistent. But you know, they like Coach Alexander's teams, they'll likely turn it on come playoff time too.
Yeah, they could definitely sneak into my top 5 very easily. They're on the what we call the watch list.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, NOKOMIS is kind of the casualty in mine this week. Number 2. WINDSOR got the Blue Devils there still, and then 1 T-Town. Like I said, with NOKOMIS losing 2 games, it's not enough to stay in my top 5. So I kind of push them out, and T-Town WINDSOR holding on the top 2 spots, same as yours.
And it's interesting. I have the 3 National Trail Conference teams as my 1, 2, and 3. You have
1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4. So, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about the National Trail Conference tournament. It's this week in Altamont, as it usually is, I believe, in Altamont. And, you know, this is always a good tournament, and I think the addition of WINDSOR as sort of a player in it definitely adds even more intrigue than usual this year.
Yeah, tons of talent. I mean, if you have opportunity to get out to Altamont and go see a couple games, do it. I know TEUTOPOLIS is the 1 seed, pretty much as you would expect. Yeah. They're a top 3 team in 2A. St. Anthony doesn't get the 2. Maybe kind of a surprise there. They are a ranked 2A team now with the polls coming out this week. I believe number 9. They get the 3 seed with WINDSOR, a top 5 team in 1A, getting the 2. They have not played WINDSOR and St. Anthony, but they will have to play likely in this tournament. If WINDSOR or St. Anthony wants to make it to the championship game against what you would expect the T-Town team, they have to play each other.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, that adds even a little more intrigue than usual to this, because usually some of these teams have played by now, as far as the top teams. Usually even TEUTOPOLIS and St. Anthony have played a game by now. This year, that makes it even better. They go in, you know, really, you know, not having had that, you know, previous matchup to kind of go on. So really, it's really going to set a pecking order in that conference, and it's going to have effect statewide because of all 3 of these teams being state ranked. You know, talking a little bit about, I kind of like St. Anthony to take WINDSOR in this one. If they meet in the semifinals, just because of, you know, the amount of talent St. Anthony has on an annual basis, and this year with James Jansen, Kit Kerner, and also their big man Ryan Schmidt. You know, I know that WINDSOR has a lot of pieces and can kind of, you know, play a lot of different styles and match up with a lot of different things, but I think TEUTOPOLIS will have trouble matching up against this. So I think Windsor will as well.
Just looking at Windsor for them in this group. I mean, it's a lot to ask to go in and beat St. Anthony and T-Town in the matter of a week. Yeah. I mean, for a 1A team. But with that said, I think that they're capable of doing it. I know T-Town went into Windsor's place and pretty much handled them a little bit. But up to that point, Windsor was kind of deer in headlights maybe a little bit in that game. I mean, first, the biggest game in could be decades for that team and that program. So I think Windsor with the Floyds and Bryn Price, and just like you said, they've got a quality piece at every position. They can get out and run. If they start making shots early in games, which they would need to do in both of these, and maybe put some pressure on these teams and maybe push the tempo, I think they could do some damage. And like you said, it's just going to be nice to see these teams go up against each other and see kind of who comes out. And it's going to be a good end of the tournament this week. Championships on Saturday.
Absolutely. Of course, another tournament starts this weekend. The Okaw Valley boys tournament starts, and we've talked all year just about how kind of up in the air it is. So it should be a really good tournament. We've started to see maybe some teams kind of rise to the top, and I guess we're going to talk a little bit about each of us going to have a favorite and a dark horse. We'll start with the dark horses. Mine's going to be, I think they're the number 10 seed, Tuscola. Yeah. We've talked about them a little this year. I liked them as maybe a top 2 or 3 team in the conference early. That's probably not going to happen now. They've struggled a bit, but they've been in close games. And I know they start with Clinton. They could lose that game and blow this up right away. But I think that if they win that game, they would face Tolono, and they have the athleticism and guys who can play defense and hit some shots. That they can make a run, and I would not be at all shocked to see them do that. Yeah,
and they're just kind of like a grinded out style team, defense oriented, and that can cause teams problems. Yeah. Teams don't want to slow it down and play at that pace. My dark horse of lower than a 4 seed, I'm going number 9 with totally blanking now, Monticello. They were ranked, it's easy to forget the Sages this early at this point in the season. They have not played well. They're starting to come on a little bit. They've won a couple games now in conference. The Sages were pegged as a top 3 team in the conference going in by the coaches. Now, people are kind of scared to play them because they don't want them to kind of get going, and they've got the talent to do it. They have to come out and play Sullivan the first game, and then they would get Tolono, or Meridian, a team that they played within 6 points. Yeah. So I know that this is a team that it's going to take a lot to do, churn out 4 wins, I think, to win it as a 9 or a 10 seed, but if I had to pick somebody right now, I think I'd go with Monticello as that kind of low seed.
My favorite, I'm going to surprise you a little bit with this. I know I've been on Meridian all year, and I still kind of like them to win the conference, but for some reason,
not Meridian.
That's
been your team.
A team that scares me though is Tolono Unity because of the amount of talent. They were picked to win it to start the year. They didn't. They started out the year not playing real well, and they've been hot here lately, and they've had some wins, some really convincing, dominating wins here. And I think that's kind of what you look for in the team that. And a favorite team. I mean, Meridians, they're winning, but a lot of the games are real close, and I think they're kind of getting it together. But at this point, I think Tolono is the hottest team, and they're going to come in and win it.
You followed suit. I'm taking Tolono, too, as the favorite. They've won 4 straight. I saw them jump all over a St. Teresa team about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They do have tons of talent, size. Guys are starting to make shots, starting to kind of get into the rhythm with Coach Ibsen, the first-year coach from St. T. So, yeah, I think right now, the Rockets do have a loss in conference play, but Meridian better watch out. They're going to be nipping at their heels here for a couple of weeks, and it'll be interesting to see if it isn't chalk, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the semis, because I think that's how you see it going.
I do see it going like that. Now, I also think that if Meridian does get beat in that game, they will come back and beat Unity in the conference game and win the conference title. I think it's that kind of year, and I think that'd be kind of the perfect thing to happen in a year like this.
That would be a tournament that wasn't chalk. Just a little girls basketball, real quick. The Okaw girls tournament in the finals. I believe the 2 and the 4, if I'm correct off the top of my head. Number 2 seed Central A&M going against Warrensburg Latham in the title game. This is a rematch of the Macon County tournament title that A&M won. Thoughts, just real quick on that.
Real quick, A&M I don't believe has lost since early December. Yeah. And right now and then you start looking at the losses they had early in the year. They lost to Arcola, which is kind of a head scratcher. But besides that, it was quality competition. And right now, I don't know there are many teams in 1A in the state playing better than A&M right now.
Yeah, I would take A&M in this matchup. I voted A&M in the polls this week. I was the only person to give them a vote, but starting to kind of get on the radar a little bit, and they've got just a lot of quality players down low who can kind of mix it up, and I would look for them to win it. So it should be an interesting final out there because Warrensburg is a tough-minded team.
Yeah, they
so
are.
They won't go away.
Similar style, so and it's a fun game to watch just because of that.
All right, make sure you check out hrpreps.com all week long for full coverage of all these tournaments we've talked about. We'll see you out there.